Hello, everyone. This is the Nameless one, and tonight we are going to be continuing the Lost Memories campaign with Argo, Ellis, Moop, Petrol, Hax, and we will be having the return of Doc. Moon is joining us once again.
Finally.
He's back from medically stabbing people.
Again.
True.
Yep. I'm glad to have you back. No way to medical stab us.
It looks like we have a repeat viewer.
I already received my medical stabbing, thank you very much, Ellis.
So,
That made that count.
I think that I will have Petrol do the recap.
Every single fucking time I even mention this to you, and you still
This
do.
time there's a cheat sheet, so don't even act like there's an excuse. There's a cheat sheet this time.
Yes, I know there is. Thank you, Cameo. But it's just Neil's always fucking gets me.
Well, maybe you should quit spamming me.
Even when I don't.
Just continue.
Okay, so Moot began learning how to fly with Vigil. Okay, who just joined? That'd be Sim, presumably.
Yep,
Yes.
Sim is here.
Hello,
Second
Sam.
breath first.
Yeah, so slashing on the side, a bit of a moment. We had 2 days of travel, got to a bunker, had to use a crystal shard to get in. More doors, yet more doors. Fucking crystal shard doors everywhere. Got in, medical surgery room. Moot happened to trigger a form of guard protocol because dragon. And of course, Vigil and Slash were the ones that got hurt. Vigil managed to get onto a medical bed and get healed somehow because magic. Well, in that case, actually science.
I was about to say,
Yes. Then we left to go to Manhattan finally. We split up into 2 groups, one of which stayed outside, the other group stayed in, or the other group went in. The group that went in comprised of Clinker, Nassar, and Vigil. And of course, the group that went inside Manhattan got into a couple fights and almost
That was
died.
entirely your fault.
I wouldn't say so, but sure.
Yes, it was.
The police bot showing up was entirely because you decided to start shooting in the middle of a highly populated city.
Shooting on a rooftop in the middle of a highly populated city.
Well, we had
highly
stuff we didn't want to
populated
get.
high-tech city.
We had stuff we didn't want to have stolen from us.
Yes, but we could have
Anyway.
found a way out without shooting them. For
Anyway,
instance, melee weapons.
That how many of us have? I know I don't.
I have a melee weapon.
I
Every
know
gun's
how
a
to
melee
fight.
weapon if you hit them hard enough.
I also want to point out that you have a proficient hand-to-hand combatant, and
Hope to
Yeah.
combatant, but yes.
One of them.
and instead of fighting, Achu and Romani warriors, she was fighting random earth ponies.
Yeah, I would have kicked their ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, followed obvious quest marker, opened building that hadn't been opened in a long time, and summoned ship.
That one was all clinker. Entirely 100% clinker.
You trained me to expect doors to open!
And that's about it.
Little did any DM realize, all you have to do is give a quest marker and they'll immediately do everything you want them to.
Yep,
You can pass off.
without question.
So, we're going to go ahead and start off immediately where we left off. With the guys inside the city. So, as you guys, have a holographic view of the ship coming into the area, I wouldn't. It's high enough to be like not a detriment to everything below it, but low enough that it's easily visible at its size. In other words, you're not going to be able to fly to it. In case anybody was thinking of doing that.
Well, I can't say that's exactly what I expected to happen.
One of you was thinking it.
Yeah. Yes, one of us was. Anyway, so, Clinker, what the
Yeah,
fuck did you do?
I thought I was going to open another door. I
Um,
have no idea what this is.
I don't know if you noticed anything, but, that's not a door.
Well, you know, all the other ones opened a door, so I expected that this one would open a door.
So,
To be fair,
these,
there's doors on it.
while these two are arguing, Nasa, you notice that the console starts. The hologram switches from the view of the ship to start rapidly scrolling past Ponish letters and numbers.
An adult, please read. I cannot read this.
I look across.
I also look.
So, you guys, like, much in the same vein of previously when you were looking at the tablet, which appeared to be looking for people at some point. This one seems to be doing the same. However, you see names that you really didn't expect to see as they it pauses for a split second to slide the name to one side. Names like Twilight Sparkle, Shadowfire, Fluttershy pops out as well with a question mark next to it, while the others display whether or not they are deceased. And you note that they are individuals for mostly for Vigil's benefit. They're individuals from when you were captured and put in a cryopod. Like, you know these people like Big Mac. Like, and it's just scrolling names past. Quite a few of them, like the vast majority of them, are marked as deceased. Although notable ones that are marked as either MIA or still alive are including Luna, Celestia, Twilight, Applejack, Rainbow Dash. Most of which you've run into already. So, it also notes that Silver Tongue is marked as MIA rather than deceased.
Man, I really wish one of the adults would tell me what was going on.
Do I see mention of Cadence anywhere?
Cadence's name does eventually pop up, but is rather than both either MIA or deceased, it is no information's found.
Nasa, it appears to be a list of names and saying whether they're alive or dead or missing.
Whose names?
These are some people from our time, that's for sure. All the princesses, AJ, RD, Silver Tongue.
Ah,
A lot of
those
notable
ones.
figures are mentioned.
And
I imagine no real figures that would be familiar with.
once
No.
it seems to finish, and there are a list of names. A lot of them you actually don't recognize, even Vigil, as it then separates out all the MIA living and no informations because there are several other names that it marks as no information found, most of which, again, you don't recognize. But it separates out the names, those names, discards the deceased, and those disappear from the hologram as it switches to cycling through God Engine designations, marking whether or not they're still functional.
Joy!
And of course, you don't get any new information until it gets to Lady of Ash, where it flashes incomplete initiation of completion process, and there's a yes/no thing that appears before it flashes yes. It's becoming apparent somebody else is running the show for what you guys are watching. And it shows a progress bar that is quickly minimized. Roll perception. See if you catch progress on it. At a -3.
Oh, what a -3 then.
Well, I don't pass.
Oh, I'm going to fail this because I can't read punish. But I can try. I know the basic alphabet, so let's find out. Oh wait, I probably have a very high minus. How much of a minus do I have?
-3.
Oh, then I would pass.
So, roll an intelligence to see if you can. It is numeric, so it shouldn't be too difficult, so no minuses.
Oh, I passed then.
Okay, so it says 87% as it is minimized.
What was that? It said 87% or something like that? 89%? The progress bar.
Well, that's not good.
At least it's not 100.
You know how to not activate it if it's bad, or continue activating it if it's good?
It's a very not good thing.
The higher the number, the worse it is.
So can we stop it?
I don't know. I don't know what any of these buttons do.
Try pushing a button. I push a random button on it.
Roll a percentage.
Oh gosh. This is going to be interesting.
This will be interesting.
50.
Well, that was nice.
So, as far as you can tell, you have no idea what that did. But the designations continue cycling through until it hits Bastion. And it's marked as inactive. And flashes the prompt again on whether or not to activate it. And it hits...
I'm going to try to press it as the prompt comes up to hit no.
You ineffectively wave a hoof through hologram as the prompt flashes yes, and you guys hear a deep grinding noise from way below you.
That sounds terrible.
Oh no. Oh no.
It sounds very unpleasant.
Okay.
Can one of you tell me what these buttons mean? There's probably some words here.
Bastion is one of the god engines, but well, let's just say no pony's seen it, like, ever as far as I'm aware.
Probably for good reason.
I think I just figured out where it has been this whole time, or rather, what it has been this whole time.
So,
Why do I get the sinking feeling that this entire city is a god engine?
Well, I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Can someone tell me what these buttons
not
say?
find out.
We can try to find out what these buttons say because that could help us.
Are any of the buttons labelled?
nope.
Yeah, Nissan, none of the buttons are labeled.
I squint a little closer. Oh,
We're just as lost as you when it comes to these buttons.
right, hitting another button.
Roll another percentage. Okay, give me just a sec. So, you see, as the text continues to scroll, as it's like reading off initiation protocols, it pauses for a moment and asks if asks for navigational input.
I wonder what that button did. Hold on, I want to see if I can try
Navigation
reading this.
I don't know what that
Nameless,
is.
can I read it? Even though it's hard to read.
Roll an intelligence at a -4.
Oh gosh, Lord.
They're using big words.
Well, I know the words, I just can't read very easily.
Use a
That
D100.
That was really
Wait. Oops.
I should hope you did roll a 46.
Oh.
Okay, the only crit pass.
So
Okay.
you are actually able to read and understand exactly what it says. Basically, your interpretation is it wants to be told where to go. You know, navigational input.
Oh, hey. I read the word.
I clap softly.
Navigational input.
I like
Alright.
look over at Nissa with a raised eyebrow.
So,
Listen, I don't read punish often. One of these buttons probably is like a direction, and then there's probably like a few other buttons near it that would also indicate direction. But that would be hard to figure out.
I am so tempted just to shove my face in the buttons and slam my body all over it just to hit as many as possible.
That sounds terrible. What, are you stupider than me? Wait, actually, you
No.
might be.
Apparently,
Yes,
Probably.
you're better than me.
so
I'm not going to do it, but it's so hard not to. Just for the comedic effect.
So, as you guys stand there, the whoever is on the other end controlling it appears to be attempting to close the navigational window.
If they do, then I'd push the one that I pushed in the first place to open the navigational window.
So you have entered into a tug of war between opening and closing a navigational window.
Alright, while I'm doing this,
We've
somebody...
done the tech support guy who gets remoted into your system, and you don't log him out, and he just keeps moving the mouse every once in a while to piss you off.
So, can someone go do something or try to do the tug of war for me so that we can figure out what's going on and try and go around somewhere? I don't know.
I press another random button on the opposite side of the panel.
So go ahead and roll a d100.
Oh, you can't tell me how many buttons there are? I feel like that might be useful to know.
There are lots of buttons. So whoever was on the other side apparently has higher clearance, as a warning flashes across the hologram, which you can see from all sides. Basically just tells you that access has been revoked as your console spits out the data shard.
Damn it.
The meanie. Come on, let's go find out what else is around here. Maybe we could stop whatever's happening on a different terminal.
I'm gonna bring out the tablet that quest markered us here and see if it's saying anything.
It cheerily informs you that you have completed the objective.
Does it give us a new objective?
Nope.
Right then, let's walk around, see what's going on.
Did it give us XP by any chance? Or any
What
quest
the fuck
rewards?
is an XP?
So, as you guys are leaving the room,
Lord.
you do note that as it scrolls past the names after the initiation of the Bastion power up sequence, it does stop on World Eater, and after several seconds, a window pops up with initiating Project God Eater. And the progress thing is, all it says is to be determined, essentially. I can't remember the exact word I want, but basically it's a fancy way of saying we don't know how long this is going to take.
Well, that doesn't sound good. So, what's the plan then?
I mean, we can walk around a bit more, try and find out what's going on.
Yeah, we could try to figure out if there's any notable rooms in this building and then get the fuck out.
That sounds reasonable enough idea. I would say the notable rooms would be more likely to be on the higher floors, probably.
Probably.
So, if you direct your attention to the tablet, it informs you that there is 250 floors up and 75 down.
Wait,
This is a basement?
There are
Wait, does it tell us what floor we're on?
You guys are on the 50th floor at the moment.
So there are 25 subterranean floors. Well, I say we go up to the top floor first and then try the bottom floor.
Are
Yeah.
You, are you
Wait,
guys really going
do you-
to attempt to go all the way through this building?
Do you want us to go up all those stairs?
Oh, Nameless, we're literally just trying to go to top, see if there are any important offices, then okay, if there's nothing, they go all the way down to the bottom because basement. To basement in a big building, why wouldn't you check it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am going to point out that I am not going to do all 250 floors.
You know, we weren't thinking of that.
Yeah.
Like the last 5 or so.
I wouldn't put it past you lot.
I want to know
know,
how we're supposed to get up there.
We were more thinking the last couple floors, but if there's anything important that's going to be there. If not, then it's just not going to be there.
Petrol. No, he has a point. That is something we would do.
Yeah, that is something we would do.
Yes.
Question.
The servant.
Question. Is there going to be an only stairs, or is there a different way up? I don't know what you ponies have done with your buildings to make them this tall.
I don't know.
This
I
seems
looked at it.
impractical.
On the tablet, is there an elevator anywhere?
What the fuck is an elevator?
I kind of shrug. Sounds like something that would go up.
Hold on.
Just
I'm going to
based
try
on-
to break down the word. Elevator. Something that elevates. Elevate. That sounds like something that would go like to make you go up or something. So is this a thing that raises us?
It's a thing that helps us go up
Okay.
fast.
Okay. I didn't want to walk up like 200 in whatever floors. That
I
sounds
already
like a
walked
very
up
long
50.
walk. Wait, how did we walk up 50? I thought we were like...
Fast travel. I was not going to let you guys just sit and go through every single door.
Okay. That's fair. I just
To be fair,
It's us.
didn't realize that we walked up 50
And
floors.
to answer your question, there is a series of stairs and elevators. There is no one set that goes all the way to the top.
Wait, that's
can we check to see if the elevators are functional?
You can.
Are they functional?
They are, but they are locked.
Can we use the
Is there a
data
data
shard
card
thing?
slot?
For the first few floor sets that they surpass, yes. But you get just shy of the last 50 floors, and you get a error message saying that your access is not high enough.
So maybe we should explore this floor? Or maybe not.
No, I think that
With
tells us
this-
that we needs to go to the higher floors.
Yeah.
Can we take the stairs up for the next one, or?
Maybe we can. If there's a stairwell with a locked door, Vigil, how long would it take you to break a door down?
Hmm. I'm not sure.
Well, we can find out.
Yeah.
So you guys do a bit of a search, and you find yet another metal sliding door. They
Can
seem
we
to be
try
a
to
very
open it?
popular door type.
Can we try to do the data card thing like before?
It gives you the same error message because you are trying to go to the same floors. Why would they give you access just because you didn't want to take the elevator?
Maybe some funny.
Seems like we could lodge something in between these doors and pry them open. If we had
I-
something
It's not
rigid and
double
flat.
doors.
Oh,
I
it's
tried
a single door
to.
It's a single door.
that slides.
Yes.
I tried to go
Odd.
for a full kick towards the data slot terminal thing, the
Are you
screen
gonna
for that.
break your leg?
So you kick the thing. It seems perfectly fine, but your feet hurt now, or hooves. Your hooves hurt now, because reinforced metal and plexiglass type stuff.
Oh, that didn't work as I planned.
Yeah, just like we're telling you.
Hmm.
Yes, one of the highest technologically advanced civilizations in Equestria.
Defeated by kick.
It's almost like it was meant to be a secure area.
I'm gonna look at the data card slot and see if there's some way I could try and take it apart.
While they're doing this, I'm gonna walk around the floor, see if there may have been some idiots, however many years ago, that just left their data card sitting on their desk or something.
So you roll a search and Clinker, roll a perception.
I don't have a
That
search
is
skill.
a pass.
Perception -3 then.
Ah, darn it! I failed by 1.
So for Clinker, Nasa, you don't find anything. In fact, it looks conspicuously clean. Or suspiciously clean. We'll go with suspiciously. I can English. Clinker, as far as you can tell, it's a metal plate stuck into a metal wall that you're not entirely sure how you're going to get it out.
Oh wait, I rolled
I
in the
have an
wrong
idea.
area.
I have an idea. So, are there any windows nearby?
I'm wondering if I could get a small pry
I-
tool in
The
there
hand that won't work.
and pop it out. Is it like is it a separate plate? A plate separate to the wall?
Yes.
But is it like has it been welded into the wall, or is it just what would appear to be press fit?
As far as you can tell, press fit.
Okay. I probably would have some kind of small pry tool in my tool bag that I could try to wedge in between the two plates to pop it off.
Yes, you would. You would need to roll a dexterity and a strength.
Let's give this a shot. Okay, so the dex passes. And the strength fails.
You're able,
Side, week one.
you're able to get it
I-
into place, but you are not able to pry it off.
Vigil, little help here?
I failed miserably.
Nasa, little help here?
Fine. I pass. Wait, hold on. Do I have any negatives or anything?
Nope.
Alright, so I pass.
So the faceplate plops on the little ground. Behind is a network of wiring and circuitry that, Clinker's never actually seen before. You can attempt to roll an intelligence, -8.
Technological due magic.
You know what? I have a chance of passing that, so I'll go for it.
I roll Chris sometimes. Sure, I'll roll.
Nope.
Literally
Three
can't.
away.
Let's see if the dumbass can.
My only passing chance is a crit pass.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
go
only-
for it.
That's
Go
only
for
because
it.
Yeah,
God
no.
damn it.
Unfortunate.
Only way I could possibly pass that was through a crit, simply because it's a crit. If 3 wasn't a crit, it'd be impossible for me.
So, I'm just gonna take out my little knife and cut a random wire.
You hear
Cut the
a
blue
hiss and a clunk. The door does not move.
Probably not a good sign.
Can I
about
cut the
another
red
one?
wire?
I'll cut another wire.
Cut the red wire. Cut the red wire.
Nothing seems to
I don't like red. Darn.
See if the door will slide. Like if some kind of locking mechanism was released, and it would just slide now.
Probably not.
So is
Well,
nobody going to try?
I'm gonna
Sure,
try and slide the door.
The point was Hax was... Clink was going to try.
Roll strength.
I was technically directing that message at probably one of you two, but
I'll roll
And
strength
that's a fail.
to help. I do not pass.
So you struggle and push and trying to slide this door, and it does not move. Like, it doesn't even wiggle.
fuck it, I cut all of the wires.
That's dumb.
Nothing happens.
I grabbed 2 random wires and stick them together.
Nothing happens.
Does anyone else have any other ideas here?
If I had access to a cloud, I could summon some lightning on this.
Well
Roll
done.
Intelligence -3, Clinker.
You really think that I would know how to do this?
That passes.
Sitting there pondering for a moment, you realize you probably just engaged some sort of failsafe locking mechanism. You know, trying to break into secure area by cutting random wires. Without knowing what you were cutting.
And so, with the elevator, is it a case of... Is it a case of it won't let us go up any higher, but we're still on the same elevator shaft, or no?
It is a different elevator shaft, actually.
Well, if we could get into the shaft, the two of us
So
can
we-
just fly up it.
That's what I'm saying. Can we try and pry the doors open to the elevator shaft?
Roll a strength at a -9.
Ooh.
Nope.
No. Gets 3.
I'm going to try. Nope. That door sure is closed. No.
Unlike glass, I don't think I would have unlike a glass cutter, I don't think I'd have a blowtorch in my bag of tools.
No.
Or an angle grind. You don't specify an
As
angle
useful
grind.
as that would be, I don't think
Or a
I'd be
plasma
lugging a
cutter.
blowtorch around everywhere.
What plasma cutter? No.
Perpetually, I don't even think I would know what a plasma cutter is.
I want to
What are
point
the
out
words that you're saying?
that he is basically just steampunk engineer, not
Yeah.
cyberpunk engineer. If
Yeah,
you guys
It's kind of
so
some fun
pick-
though.
if you guys had picked up somebody that actually was like intelligent in the Deus Ex Machina tribe, you might be able to get somewhere with this. Because
Yep.
I am also going to point out for Ellis's benefit, this is above the technology stuff he's used to.
Yeah. Honestly, stand stuff over.
I guess we're out of options. I guess we only can only go down now because
Can you guys try to search around
But-
too? I tried to search around earlier, but I didn't find anything. It was like suspiciously empty.
what were you looking for exactly?
Oh, like a key card or something.
Sure, I can look around. I'm
I
gonna
could roll scrounge.
search. I'm a roll search.
You both also note that it is suspiciously clean for, how long this has probably been left entirely
Oh,
alone.
Both
Did
of them did very
I'm
well.
actually. Wait, I was a 14. Is that a crit?
No, it isn't.
No,
A 4 would be a
not-
crit.
barely not. My skill level. If my skill was 1 higher, it would be.
For
But,
everybody outside, roll perception.
Thanks.
Pass.
Page.
Edge.
You're missing one there.
You're missing a die.
Yeah, I know. I am smart.
I think your mic has a lot of white noise.
That,
Coming from
that's
Argo.
coming from a. Yeah.
That's Margo.
Well, either way, I passed.
Oh, is it coming from me? I'm sorry.
So you
Yeah.
guys start to feel like a slight vibration, and looking out at the water is also no longer still and quiet like it was before. It is now almost to the point where it is violently moving.
Park.
Why do I feel like the idiots that we let go inside the city did this?
Because there was nothing showing that this would happen until our idiots went in.
Hmm.
Yeah. I really feel like I should have gone with them.
Give me just a second.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that the city has something to weed out bugs.
Then, we should probably get going, especially given how violent the waters are. And that thing above us.
Yeah, especially the thing about this.
Just assume the idiots inside are dead.
mean,
Not necessarily. We survived off of pure luck. More like, assume they can't reach us anytime soon. Save ourselves until we could probably meet up again later.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Sorry about that. Was doing some typing.
I wonder when the group outside realizes that they have all the rations.
We probably realized this a while ago and just are waiting because our friends are being stupid inside a big city. And it's not the
Yeah.
first time we've done something stupid in a big city.
Mm-hmm.
Causing the waters to basically boil and also causing freaking giant ass ship from out of nowhere to come in. So, yeah.
I will also note that Nebula is outside with you guys and is staring, like with half-lidded eyes at the city.
Yeah.
Are our friends still alive?
She looks at you guys and kind of shrugs before going back to staring at the city.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get to safety.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to jump back to the inside group. You guys have made it down to the lower floors because you found nothing. And about 5 basements in, you run into the same problem.
Goodness sake.
Okay, so I have like a dumb idea, but it's an idea.
Okay.
Okay, so you know how we need to basically cut through a big metal door to get into these areas?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to bet that the big guns on one of those police bots could cut through one of these doors?
I don't know. I don't like where this is going.
Think of it.
Even the group on the outside is like,
Look, whilst you're probably right, how the fuck are we going to test that?
Well, getting one of them to follow us wouldn't actually be a challenge.
And somehow we not die. How do you expect that to happen and us not die? You heard what that thing did on the roof?
You know, I hadn't gotten that far yet. I was just trying to think of ways to cut through a door.
I mean,
Where did we go where we don't instantly die from that thing?
I want to point out that you guys heard buzzing roar and there was instant pulp instead of pony.
Yeah. Whilst it probably would work, Glinker, going about doing that is the impossible part.
Okay. I'll get back to it when I come up with another plan.
One that won't get us killed immediately.
I feel like they're all going to come with a risk
All
of
of you
death.
roll dexterity, except for the people outside.
Oh, that sounds very concerning.
Will I pass?
I pass.
So did I.
So you guys narrowly avoid as a bookshelf topples over next to you guys as the floor lurches beneath you.
Oh,
I think
what
the
was
city
that?
is waking up!
Yeah.
What do?
We need to get through this door quickly. Ah,
Is there is there any books from the bookshelf that could be of any use whatsoever?
I mean, not
Twilight.
really. Most of them seem to be general, like, manuals on things like weapon repair, but not so much for, high-tech door that isn't letting you in.
Alright, I'm gonna try the thing with the pulling the panel off, but I'm gonna spend more time actually like looking where the wires go this time.
Roll an intelligence -8.
Doable, but extremely difficult, and that's a fail.
That's not doing it.
Yes, the clockworker could not figure out the wiring or the circuitry. Who'd have thought?
Do either of you want to try and figure out
only
anything
the breath
to
of
do
tech.
anything to these?
I can give it a shot.
-12.
So only a crit could work.
Exactly.
No.
I'm going to completely guess.
For a 3, and I was really hopeful, but it was 13.
Well, Nasa, yours would be a -15. Because, you came from the minis.
Yeah, I didn't expect to actually pass that. There's no way I was actually gonna know how to do something. It was complete guess.
So does
Okay.
Nasa's complete guess include yanking wires?
Yes.
So after
I don't know. Yanking a wire might work. Who knows?
After the two of you sit there pondering, Nassau walks up, looks at it, yanks a wire, and you hear the same hiss and thunk as the locking mechanism is engaged on the door.
I turn to look at Nasa, standing there, holding the wire that she just yanked out of it.
Does Nassau
It
look
work?
proud?
Slowly.
Did it work?
No, Nasa. It engaged the same emergency locking mechanism that it did last time.
Yusuf.
So it didn't
Now
work.
we have to find another door to even have a hope of opening it.
Why don't we just, like, open one of the windows above and just fly me into that?
We are
Maybe
underground,
this
Nassau.
5
We're-
stories into the basement?
Were there actually windows on this building?
There were windows on this building. Nobody actually tried to
What?
do anything with them.
That seems like a security risk. Yeah. Do we want to try using the windows to get to the top floors?
We have to go all the way back to the top, is what you're saying.
Well, we can fly.
Just certain one of us that can't.
Oh,
You can carry her.
Yes, I can, but oh god, the amount
let's
of
be
time.
very careful.
So are we seriously going to go all the way back up?
I say we go to the top floor and I try and cut the window with my glass cutter again.
I guess it's the last ditch effort.
Probably.
But if this doesn't work, we're leaving.
Fine, fine.
I feel like even Nassau's getting fed up with shit.
Well, this building, it just keeps locking. And we can't find any way to unlock it.
I've
So
gotten further than any pony else.
time skip back to top.
So you guys are at the top.
Oh wow, that was easy. We already made it to the top.
I will point
I
out that
jokingly say.
you are way higher than any zebra would feel comfortable being.
Oh yeah, no, I'm incredibly nervous.
So, right, I'm gonna pull out that glass cutter and try and cut this window.
Before I do anything with writing in anyone's back or anything, or being held, I'm going to very much make sure that the windows can even be cut in the first place.
Oh, so you would like to test that at the ground floor?
Can Clinker try to cut the window that is like right next to us, or like?
Okay.
So you guys are on the ground floor instead of, the 250th floor.
Wait, so are there no windows on the 250th floor?
There are. But wouldn't you want to test it on the ground floor instead of, making the effort to fly 250 floors up?
Probably.
Am I the only one that took this logical leap? That, you test it before making all the effort?
I'll make the comment. You know the party.
Do you really think we thought that through? No.
We never think anything through, Nameless.
I
I have no
know,
idea how long this
because
is
you're
taking.
still in here. So, you test your little glass cutter, and the first thing you realize is, yes, you drew a line in it, but your glass cutter ain't anywhere near big enough to cut through there. I mean, unless you have some sort of laser glass cutter, which,
What if I
you
square
wouldn't
the
have.
glass and then take my hammer to it?
It doesn't even dent the glass.
Shit. Anyone else have a better idea?
Gomez says if the glass is made to repel a invasion of magic
So-
users.
It's almost like you walked into what is basically a giant fortress.
Vigil, do you have any idea of how to hit the glass even harder?
I tried to buck the door down. Well, the glass down.
Roll to hit.
I hit.
Yeah, you're hooves for the second time today are in a lot of pain. The glass looks unfazed, aside from the circle that was drawn on it.
Nasai, do you have any ideas of how to hit the glass even harder?
Nasai, you can tell him he's an idiot.
Yeah, like, what do you want me to do?
I don't know. I'm looking for ideas here.
Listen, I have gun mask. I have a knife. I have an amulet. I have... Wait, hold on. Does my amulet do anything?
No,
That probably doesn't do anything, right? Okay,
it does
yeah,
not
no.
do anything.
Alright. My rifle. And then, like, a crossbow. And then food and stuff. Do you think, like, any of this is capable of, like, doing anything to either that glass or opening any of those doors?
Yeah, let's just go.
That moment when Nasai is just like, I've had it with this shit.
But,
Why
like,
are
what am
you
I supposed to
stupid?
do? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, if I can do anything, what makes you think Nasaka can do something? It's class.
Fine. So are we just leaving then?
Probably.
Well, yeah,
This place is screwed.
With
There's
the
nothing
god
else we
engine
can do
waking
here.
up?
There's nothing else we can do here. We've tried.
I will note it is starting to get rather noisy below you guys.
We should probably try to skip town a little more quickly.
Probably.
Okay.
So, as soon as you guys step outside, there are lots of sirens and people are panicking and flying around. You know, because they have griffins and pegasi. There's also terrified looking earth ponies running around as well. Of course, as soon as you step outside, the door shuts behind you. I'm assuming you kept the data shard with you.
Yes.
Of course.
Let's try to move a little quickly.
Like we walk outside and everything's like in chaos and we're just like casually strolling through.
So, for the sake of getting you back with the fucking party, you guys make it through without any incident. You know, besides being run into quite often and having to weave your way around the falling garbage. You are now outside. As you are making your way across the bridge, the gates to the city slam shut, and the subtle rumbling that has been going on this whole time gets a lot louder and a lot more violent. Everybody roll dexterity on the bridge.
I pass.
I pass.
Yes.
So you guys are managed to book it off of the bridge just in time for it to collapse into the water as the city stands up. It is very large, very dome-shaped still, but it's got legs. And a
Important question. How many legs?
Every pony gangster to the city starts walking.
There is actually a total of 6 set are about even length or evenly around the city to support it. And there seems to be something underneath the central area holding it up as well.
Huh. City looks like a bug.
Guess it sort of does.
It then starts
Well,
moving farther north, slowly.
Good thing we're not there anymore.
Ah.
Well,
Well,
looks like they're going to be changing to it next.
I can just imagine the rest of the party watches as the three of us walk out and the city starts walking. Like dumbfounded looks at us and like, what the fuck?
what did you do?
Yeah.
Hold on just a second.
Well, that just happened. Oh.
I'm assuming we see the idiots just walk across the bridge.
Yes, you see the idiots walking across the bridge, or what's left of it.
Walking? Excuse me, we're booking it.
Well, yeah. Paige said walking, so I just said walking as well, but...
Okay, we see the idiots moving across the bridge. Well, the idiots plus Nasa.
Thanks!
Thanks.
I want to point out that Nasa made the most intelligent decisions the entire time you guys were in Bastion.
Yeah.
If it wasn't already obvious, that is exactly what Manhattan was.
No,
Oh yeah,
it's
that was
plainly
extremely
It was
obvious.
really obvious.
I don't know, I felt like I needed to spell it out after all of that. So,
I don't blame you.
Oh, now that we did that, I don't know what other objectives we had here, so should we try going south so that we can go to Monteris? That
So
was the
the
thing.
party's outside the city right now.
yes, party just met up.
I'm gonna walk up to them. What did you do?
I don't know what they did. I was about to ask the exact same question.
Yeah.
I fly to dock.
Roll dexterity. You know the series of rolls you need to do.
Roll dexterity, then roll dexterity, then roll dexterity.
Wait, all of us?
If
No.
you pass the first one, then you have to make the next one. If you fail the first one, you don't have to continue.
The
follow my
angels
feet,
attempting to
because
fly.
Oh, that's individual.
fall on my face as I try to fly. So I just get up and just run to him anyway.
Moop, this is why you wait till I'm around so I can help you.
I quickly kind of go over to Moop, make sure she's okay.
I'm fine. Oh my gosh, Doc, it's been like forever! You missed so much!
Are you okay? Because you seem to have just tripped or stumbled or something. I don't know what you were trying to do.
Oh, I was trying to
Bugs
fly.
back.
I hit once, so I got my wings, and I was trying to fly to you, but I still can't fly, but it's like, whatever. Anyway, dude, it's been so long!
I got these burns since you're gone. I
You're
kind
gone
of
from
point.
what?
I said I got these burns since you were gone. I kind of point at the obvious burns on my hoofs.
I'm gonna check out the burns. Actually, you know what? Medical examination for everyone.
Okay, go ahead
God, kids old time.
and roll a... Also, there is a poo-brained Minotaur in the background, because I still do not have an answer on whether or not he is actually coming back. So that will be... Go ahead and roll a separate one for each party member and tell me which one's for which.
So I'm gonna start with the saw for the burns.
So, for the most part, she seems okay. She's got some burn scars now. By the looks of it, there wasn't going to be much that could be done for it with the limited supplies the party would have had. She is still battered. You know, it looks like somebody... She took a good hoofing.
That sounds really bad. Please use different words.
But,
Phrasing.
for the most part, she's in one piece.
So, if you look this bad, how bad's the other pump?
I think they're in the grave now.
Oh, good.
6 feet under.
Let's see.
Or vaporized. Something happened to him.
We've got a couple on the way.
Let's check out.
Just a couple.
Check out who?
Make sure those wings are growing in, like, properly.
So,
Or at least from
Wings.
what I can tell.
she's seen better days, but for the most part, she's not too bad off. The wings seem to be nothing out of the ordinary. despite, being wings that she didn't have previously.
Oh yeah, also Doc, you had missed it. I got to see Rosso again.
One more time?
I got to see Rosso again.
Yes.
He's burning.
What?
In Tartarus. Tartarus is on fire and it's radioactive as shit.
Also, did you manage to get a hold of a radiation charm during your travels away from us?
That's a good question. I checked my bag.
You do not have one.
Nope.
Okay. Keep that in mind for the future.
So, who's next?
Who else needs treatment?
Uh,
Well,
I'm
I think
also
it's
in
pretty
it.
much the rest of the party too.
Basically,
I'm not-
the
Sonic
entire
Boom.
party has taken a thrashing. And
Yeah.
you said you were just doing medical exams, so you would be going over everyone?
Who wants to be next?
I'll be next.
Okay.
So, slashing seems to be a large accumulation of small things that caused massive amounts of pain. But for the
Yeah.
most part, it wasn't anything big.
Alright.
I collect the scrapes and bruises.
Yes. And way too many of them.
Way
Yes.
too many of them.
But did you die, though?
I've been close to it.
Well, you're fine.
So, who's next in Doc's medical exam?
I'll go.
Yes.
That
Does
makes
that pass
sense.
for you
I'll
still?
point out. Yes, with how high my physician is, yes.
Okay then.
So,
That makes sense.
as far as you can tell, there's some heat damage to her carapace, but it's still like, this is just barely within the scope of what you know. So you can assume they got burned at some point and probably got hit several times, because there's some dents in the carapace that there's nothing you can really do about it, but like, it's one of those you want to keep an eye on it for possible issues later. Other than that, they seem okay for a bug.
Alright.
From what you can tell from Bug.
And now for everyone's favorite sniper.
So,
Who, me?
when you start looking over Vigil, you see a really
Darn.
large, really obviously bad scar. It's been worked over by what looks like some sort of magic, because magic seems to work scarring differently than, just letting it do its thing. Of course, there's also several other injuries of minor. He's got a gunshot wound to the shoulder, things like that.
Got these cool new scars.
Hell happened to you?
I'm
A,
Malvin.
a lot. Being shot, being stabbed. You name it, it's happened
A
probably.
creature that was designed based off of changelings, but worse, with the psychic component to them.
Yeah, I almost died. I was on my deathbed.
Malvin Page in the book. That's what it was.
But Moob did a good job putting him back together.
Yeah, thank goodness you taught Moop, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Well, I thought the Malevolent wasn't a thing that was in the book. You were the one who added it.
No, it was in the book, just not much on it.
Basically, that it was just expensive to maintain, and so they didn't, and that's all they really knew about it. So,
Well, Moop, you did a much better job than I expected. I'm not gonna lie. So,
I will also
I'm also surprised none of us are dead.
note
Had a good
there
teacher.
is a lazy-eyed Kieran. Well, not lazy-eyed. She's got a lazy-looking gaze. That half-hooded, stare, and a drooling Minotaur as well.
There's also a me.
Oh yeah, and Clinker. You
Thank
forgot.
you. You've been like fairly safe.
You say that.
Clinker
Since
has
when
also
that
taken
been
a
the case?
thrashing, and I'm not going to require a roll for that one because Clinker, for the most part, has been the least thrashed.
I think the worst thing that happened to Clinker was there was a period of time where his wing was broken and it got magically fixed.
Yeah.
Yep.
My wing was broken for a long time. Doc's the one who bandaged that.
Yeah, I got into an arena fight.
Moon.
Moon, is that supposed to be Bastion?
Yes.
That is terrible.
Except
Moon, you're missing about 4 legs.
Now, this is Doc and Moop's chance to talk. Because Doc was trying to talk to Moop before people started interjecting.
So, Lou, if you can't tell, I've been a little bit busy since I've been out.
Little is an understatement. I swear we haven't seen each other in like a month or something.
Has it been a month already?
If I remember correctly, it's been about a month and a half, if not 2.
I said about for a reason, man.
By the way, I've been training more medical practitioners.
Training more? Cool. Will I be able to meet them?
Well, I think
You
you
met-
met some of my students saw you at one point. They didn't say hi though, because, well, they get a little bit worried around those with psycho tendencies. However, initially I was just going to give you some apprentice garbs when I got back, but given the fact that you managed to keep everyone alive, I think you've earned this. And I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out a porcelain mask that looks similar to Doc's.
But
You have a
size
cool
for a
mask
baby
too?
dragon.
Wait, what?
So
What?
You want to
I've
see my
taken
mask?
I've taken the visage of my mask as a way to prove and show to people that, as far as you medically speaking, you know what you're doing. You're competent. You're someone that I trust to take care of someone, put or sew someone back together on your own. Given the fact that you managed to keep everyone alive, I think you've earned it.
I hold the mask, and then I begin to cry.
I am there to hold Moop. Because this is a moment in which we are very proud of her.
Now, typically, I would also give you a pair of black robes like mine. However, I feel like you probably want something a little bit more fashionable. That and the pair that I brought with me kind of caught fire. Anyways,
I put on the mask.
Take out my bone mask.
It actually fits.
well, yes, I took the exact measurements of your face before I left.
Oh my god.
I don't find that surprising at all.
I know.
I don't think it's surprising. I'm more like, when did you have time for that?
Probably one of the nights when
This is while
he
you
was
were
on watch while you were asleep.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's so fucking dumb. I love it.
Hold
How
on,
very
I want to
moon.
show Moon. I want to show Doc. Doc, I want to show you my mask. I have a cool bone mask. Look,
She has like half of a pony skull as a mask right now.
it is very cool.
I like it. It reminds me of the Psycho tribes of the South. Mark of a true warrior.
I remember correctly we got that from the Scarecrow cult.
Oh yeah, we also showed up at the Scarecrow Cult. Also just dropping this here so that Doc can see.
And
Well,
didn't we
did you
also
kill
give him the memory stone?
Wait, what did Duck say? I didn't hear you.
Did you kill the cult?
No.
Wait, what?
That's a shame.
Okay, to be fair, they were very
that-
nice to us.
we did see
actually-
a few physicians wearing ear mask there. If I remember correctly.
Well, as long as they're being adequately compensated, they can't turn someone down.
I will say they were surprisingly reasonable creatures for
Well-
being spawn cultists.
I mean, most cults usually are, otherwise you lose all your members.
I was just expecting more crazy from
And
spawn cultists.
we gave them the orb that shows them how to make scarecrows. Well, it shows a scarecrow being made, but yeah.
Not successfully, I will mention.
No, it was successful, if I remember correctly.
Just probably better to have it with them than some other groups, if you know what I mean.
I mean, at least it wasn't the cheese cult.
I mean,
Did you
don't-
cheese cut?
they don't exactly seem like they'd be the type to try necromancy.
Everyone's the type for necromancy if they're desperate enough.
Well, it depends on what you mean by necromancy.
So,
That's a good question.
what is the party going to do now?
Are we going to go down to, start traveling down to Mount Terrace?
Yeah, might as well get
Yeah.
as far away from that, the Poinsett city.
The city that's walking to the north.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. It's walking away from us. I just wanted to.
And points up to the clear spaceship that managed to break the atmosphere.
Also, can I try to take a wild guess as to, what month it is? Or, like, what date it might be by now? Trying to figure out a way to keep... Yeah, I want to see if I can try to, figure out what the weeks are like.
Yep.
I don't know how much of a minus you're going to put to that.
It would be a survival at -4.
Oh, I think I exactly passed.
So, your rough guesstimate lands you somewhere between early March and early June. You're not entirely certain, given, the zebras didn't exactly measure time like that to begin with. You measured it in season cycles, and with the inaccurate guesstimations due to, nights and days, sometime lasting what would be the equivalent of weeks, and the seasons seem to be off kilter as well. You can only guess that it's around like the early summer, late spring time period.
Well, depending on how soon it starts getting warmer, we can figure that out.
I mean, it is no longer cold and wanting to snow.
So probably maybe April? My guess is April, maybe May.
I mean, I would say so. I would say like October, but I mean,
You're on the wrong side of the planet for that.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we should probably start traveling.
Okay. So, you guys still have about half the day. And if you guys will roll your travel rolls, we are probably going to... Ah, yes, I see. Perfect.
Alright, I crit my survival roll,
Well, I failed my perception.
and I passed my perception.
Oh, perfect.
I passed my perception.
Perception.
Going to double check. Yes, I crit my survival. I crit my
Wow.
survival a lot.
There we go. Okay. So, as you guys are traveling, everybody but Clinker. Everybody but Clinker notices that, there is a camp up in the distance. And as you guys travel closer, you can see earth ponies and pegasi moving around. There seem to be no griffins in this one. But, what do?
Can we try to get a better look?
Well, I haven't even noticed it yet, so I'm still walking.
I quickly fly in front of Clinker and stop him from moving.
What?
The camp
Like-
over there.
I point one of my wings over in that direction.
I kind of rub my eyes and squint. Oh, how did I not notice that?
You know, I really don't know.
Probably
It's
just
sort of
in the
right in
book
front
or
of us.
something.
What are we gonna do with random camp?
Do you think they'd be friendly to us or not?
Doc, roll perception
It's-
again. I will do a thing real quick.
That is
There's
a
only
success
one way
by
to find
5.
out.
I have given you an answer, Doc, so go ahead, do with that information as you will. I will note there is a reason why I sent it to you like that.
Bunch of heck knights. Looks like clockworkers.
More clockworkers?
We're walking the other way.
Okay, if the clockworker doesn't want us to go, then we shall try to go around them.
What is the reason for the clockworker not wanting to go near him? Just this question.
I'd rather not talk about it,
Okay.
but let's just say there's a reason why I'm here and not with them.
So you don't want to kill them at all? You just want to avoid them?
What is with you being a murder-happy hobo?
Why would I want to kill? No, I do not want to kill them.
I mean, if everything's going to try to threaten us in the wasteland, we might as well threaten it back.
No! Last time we got into the fight, that was completely not needed!
Guys, let's stop shouting and just
Yeah.
walk the other way.
I'm just going to roll
don't
stealth.
want to
I'm
draw
not
their
getting into
attention.
this.
I
I'm going
don't
to
want
stealth.
to draw their attention.
Okay, okay.
Alright, let's
Vigil-
sneak around them then.
No.
It would
Get
appear
over
that
there.
it is a bit too late, that, Moop is kind of loud, and
I'm hiding.
there is a pair of ponies, a pair of identical earth ponies headed y'all's way.
I'm going to reach into my bag and
I do
toss
it.
Hax one of the masks.
I'm
Okay.
assuming he puts it on and it fits him perfectly.
I mean, you can always just adjust the string.
There.
Do still need something to cover my cutie mark.
Here,
Fine,
use this
fine.
to cover your cutie mark then. Passes, the flag I had, which is a completely different flag from the one Vigil pulled out before.
The neon camo.
It's the neon pink camo flag.
No, it's not. This is the dragon flag, which is completely different.
Okay.
If they ask, you're one of my medical students.
Okay.
So the two earth ponies walk up, and at a safe distance they stop, and one of them asks, "Hello there, how are you?"
Well, you know.
We are good.
Lovely day for a walk.
The other one asks, "So what brings you out here?"
Went to trade with Mainhead and decided to go south afterwards.
They look at each other and then shrug and say, "It's getting dark." And the other one, so like they're basically completing each other's sentences, and the other one says, "You should stay with us. There's a roving band of," and the other one finishes, "psychos nearby."
Looks at the rest of the party. He's like, are we against camping out with them for the night?
That's a very nice, generous offer. I wouldn't
I
mind.
mean,
The rest of you?
psychos can be kind of welcoming. Oh, you mean the clockwork? Yeah, I guess I don't mind.
They nod and turn and gesture for you guys to follow.
We'll be following at a safe distance while still trying to maintain my stuff.
Same.
I'm going to shout out too because I don't know how they feel about what they would consider unicorns.
Oh, for the most part, as you guys enter, you get some weird looks, especially the unicorn, but they don't seem overtly hostile at the moment. Hold on just a second. And to answer your question, Hax, if you want names, you ask for names. You don't just like get names. Especially since you provided me with no names, so all of the names will be on the spot, and I will let you know if you know.
Fair enough.
I will say that you do recognize these two. But I am not going to give names because I'd rather not spend half of this session typing to you. I will just note whether or not you recognize them.
Okay.
So if you guys want to know a pony or group of ponies' names, you will
Either ask them, ask Hacks, or have or other things that happen.
So,
How many people are here in general?
in the camp or like in the group?
In the camp.
Right now there are dozens. There is a large number of ponies. This is a very large nomadic tribe. The twins that you guys met take you to a rather slenderly built Pegasus. He's a pure white in color with a silvery mane. He is currently using the tips of his wings to try and manipulate what appears to be some excruciatingly small gears into a machine that you're not entirely sure what he was building, but it looks complicated, which could sum up about half of what you see moving around the camp that isn't ponies. What do? He seems wholly absorbed in what he is doing at the moment, and they are just standing there quietly waiting.
I talk to the two that are with us, talking low enough just for they can hear us so I don't break the guy's concentration. So, is this the leader of your group?
They look at you and then shake their heads and say, one of them says that Gold Tier is currently busy.
Ah. So, what are your names?
They look at each other and say, "You can call." One says, You can call me Cog," and the other says, "You can call me Gear." Almost simultaneously.
So Kieran Cog, got it.
Nice names. I'm Moop.
They nod and politely say that it is nice to meet you. Simultaneously, again.
It's nice to meet you too. So, do you guys normally travel to these places?
They both nod, and one of them says, "Well, this is part of the Clockworker territory." And for Doc and Hax, you guys both realize that you've basically breached the upper portion of their territory and will have to travel basically the entire length of it to get through.
That's the first time we've come through these parts.
The Pegasus who was working looks like he managed to get the gear into place and looks up and says, "Well, hello. We don't get guests here often. How are you?" He gives a warm smile.
Officer hoof to shake.
He looks at your hoof, and the smile gets a bit tighter, and he says, "No, thank you."
Okay. Just put it back down on the ground.
We're actually doing pretty good ourselves. Are you doing good with the whole project that you've got going on?
He nods and says, "I'm almost done repairing it."
Ooh, what is it?
He pushes and pulls a few things from within the machine, and the machine gives a light hiss, and you can hear the sound of grinding gears for a second before it seems to catch, and it stands up, and it appears to be some sort of large bird that, when it was laying it down, its wings were kind of spread forward. It shakes itself and then hops off.
That is so cool.
But you know how this works.
What's that?
I'm asking you, do you know how this works?
My brain, like, you're asking how it works?
I'm asking if they know how it works.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I couldn't quite catch what you were trying to say there. And he nods and says, "Of course, I built it."
What is this supposed to do? I kind of move a bit closer to it.
It squawks in a tinny sounding voice and pecks you on the nose. And he points out that it's mainly for surveillance. It can, and he pulls out a sheet from under its wing that has a image burnt into it. We can only do still images, unlike the Deus Ex Machina, but we have been able to preserve some of the techniques of our ancestors, and we are able to do low quality surveillance. And in the image you see a really close up of a psycho's face, You can tell it's a psycho because of the poor quality of like. Because most of the ponies you guys have run into have been like they're not beaten up or anything compared to this. This thing like is missing like half its teeth and just like
And what teeth it has is rotted out.
yeah. Not to mention one eye is the pupil is pinpoint and the other one you can't see anything but the pupil.
Ooh, this is actually pretty cool.
How high is that psycho?
Yes.
Actually, it seems
10
to be on a
floors.
pretty low day.
Now I'm wishing I practiced divination spells when I was younger.
But
How high are they? 10 floors.
he sets the plate aside and slides in a new one before saying, "This one was damaged by a psycho. I was having to replace the parts." And he looks at a pile of slagged, which you can only assume were at one point tiny gears.
Doesn't he primarily work with bronze?
Bronze, copper, normally much softer metals. Harder metals are much more difficult to create the delicate machinery that we need.
Yeah, they're just hard to work with in general.
He nods.
Hmm.
And then he says, "I'm not normally familiar with unicorns that even slightly care about the metalworking of our craft."
No, I tend to practice geomancy, so knowing simple metals is part.
He grunts and nods. You can't tell, though, whether it was approval or disapproval.
If you want any simple metals, I could provide some. All you have to do is ask.
He shakes his head and says, "I'd rather not have magic-tainted metals in my contraptions."
That's fair.
But he then, shooing off the bird, which takes off rather jittery at first and then starts flying a little smoother, relatively speaking, for the metallic contraption that it is. He then asks, "So what brings you to our humble camp?" Which, for what it is, he is vastly, like, underselling the size and, like, quality of the camp from everything you've seen so far.
Just exploring the wastes.
He shrugs and says, "Well, I'm assuming that the twins already told you that you are welcome to stay."
We only plan to stay the night, so.
He nods and says, "There's a tribe of scrap eater psychos nearby that have been harassing people in this area."
I am completely in awe from the bird flying. That thing can fly better than me!
I tried practicing.
I have. I failed a lot.
What makes the results?
I'm still outside of the encampment stuffed. Is there any like bushes I can sleep in?
What was that, Argo?
I said, are there any bushes I can sleep in or something? I don't want to break my stealth, and I don't know if they would trust me being near them, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
Argo, if they let a unicorn in, they're not gonna care about a zebra.
I don't know this.
Comment, I've been getting the stink eye, but beyond that, they haven't kicked me out yet.
Can I speak?
Yes.
There is a bush near you that you could hide in.
I will be hiding in that bush.
Okay. So as you crawl into that bush, you find yourself nose to nose with a earth pony.
I stare them in the eyes.
He stares back, and after a couple seconds says, "Hello."
Greetings. Are you hiding too?
he says no in a hurt tone, and you see a pastry roll out of his bag.
Does it
Lunchtime
have to
then?
be a sweet roll?
Are you with that encampment? Or are you not from that encampment?
He sits up a little, puffs up his chest, and says, "Yes, I am with that encampment." As two more pastries plop out of his bag, and he quickly grabs them.
By any chance, do you hate zebras?
He looks at you with an entirely innocent look on his face and says, "What's a zebra?"
I kind of glance down at myself. I don't know if he can see me, but I say to him, so imagine like an earth pony, but they have stripes. And sometimes they talk a little funny.
He looks at you and says, "Okay, so you're an earth pony."
No.
He looks confused, and says, "But you just said you were an earth pony."
I did not say that.
You said you
Is
were
it
a stripy earth pony that talks funny.
Listen, this is all I needed to know. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get killed for walking in that encampment.
He looks at you funny and says, "But you're not a psycho, are you?"
I believe I have my sanity.
He shrugs and pops one of the pastries in his mouth and hands one to you.
I take a bite of it. How good is it?
It is actually fairly tasty. It's not say something that you would be super excited about, but for where you are and what you've been having to eat, it is
It's a lot better than what we've been eating.
It's a welcome change. Through a mouthful of food, he asks, "So what's your name?"
Nasa. Nasa Cipriar.
While chewing, he attempts to say your full name, and then it just goes, "I'll call you Nasa."
Very good enough.
And he extends a hoof and says, "You can call me Flywheel."
Flywheel.
God damn it, I knew he was gonna say that.
So, I don't know much about the group that inhabits this area.
He points to the camp and says, "We're the clockworkers." And he fishes through his bag and pulls out a pastry-covered contraption. It's got 3 wheels, and it looks like it's supposed to roll. But, it's kind of gummed up with pastry.
Tell me, what kind of things do you all hate? Like, what kind of things sound like they would be enough to get someone kicked out of the camp? Or probably attacked?
He kind of shrugs and says, "I don't know. Do you do magic? Nobody here likes magic."
Do you know what shamanism is?
He sounds out the word slowly and then shakes his head.
Do you have any issue with bones?
He shakes his head and then points to a skeleton not far from the bush and says, "They're all over the place."
What if I said I kept some bones? Would that be a problem with you?
He shrugs and says, "I mean, psychos do it."
I actually have the quick question. You're wearing your skull mask right now, right?
No, I was wearing it earlier, but I am not wearing it currently.
Okay, just wanted to ask.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to run into any issues by joining with the camp. I think a group of my friends is already in there.
Seeming to forget that he was hiding from something with his bounty of presumably stolen pastries, he
Filtered pastries.
he grabs you by the hoof and says, "I'll introduce you to my sister." And you kind of get dragged along as he pulls you through the camp.
Alright, I am being dragged into the camp.
So we're going to switch over to the other group. You've basically been told that you're welcome to what they have, and feel free to talk to people and things like that. I will note Doc is recognized here and welcomed.
Oh,
Wow.
as someone who a group of people who doesn't kick Doc out on site.
Perhaps they could have a bad reputation.
Didn't we get not kicked out of that one group's settlement because of you? Or nearly
No.
get kicked out of that one settlement because of you?
It was fine. I had the entire situation under control. That's why I brought you along.
They yelled at you for attempting to kill one of their members.
Well, they had it coming.
So it is at this point that I decide to make my way out of stealth out of some bushes. So there you guys are. Where were you?
Let's just say I met this cult?
Yes.
How old are you?
Isn't Nissa not with the group right now?
He
I just got dragged into the group.
you watch as Flywheel drags the saw past, and I'm assuming Vigil decides to follow.
Yeah.
But Flywheel, in basically one breath, introduces you and introduces himself and Nasa at the same time, before continuing on, saying that he is looking for his sister.
So full pinky fly, got it.
Hey,
Why are so many people hiding?
Did you not realize the three of us that were hiding?
Yes.
Hold on.
Oh my god. you guys are
I'll
so
make a
perfect.
comment. The last one who's hiding is a bug.
Doc just
Yeah,
looks around and goes,
also-
wait, where did everyone go?
Nameless, the easiest way to stay alive is to hide from everything so you can actually
Well,
figure out whether they're safe or not.
You're a trigger happy bitch. The fact that you went hiding is something else.
Yeah, and I also want to figure out whether I had to kill all of them.
Petrol,
oh,
you're an idiot. You are literally one of the ones that could fit in basically anywhere.
I know.
Quit with
I
the
am in
dumb.
him.
I was fucking
I know
joking
you
that
were.
last
You
bit. Goddamn.
realize that my family is here, right? Like, I don't want them dead.
Well, there's a reason why you weren't with them anymore. How's I supposed to know what history is?
I told you because I told you that I didn't want them dead before we walked in here. Do you listen at all?
Petrol, think about it. Clinker is a clockworker. Does anything about Clinker spell violent past where he would want anyone dead?
Oh, most
No, but
definitely. The
but
past
if
is what
he
kills
was-
everyone.
But if he was shunned and told never to return,
You have no
Well-
idea if that's the truth.
that's why I haven't shot yet. Why do you think I've made myself known to everyone now instead of staying hidden with my gun ready?
Oh my god, you're an idiot.
Who would personally mauled you if you took a shot at anybody?
I'm not going to.
I'm pretty sure Doc would have applied stick heavily.
Very heavily.
Unless I have an explicit reason to, I'm not going to right now.
You might even apply stick plus.
Like, I could almost understand Nasa, but you had no reason to be hiding. Really?
I was being cautious. I didn't know if it was instantly going to devolve into violence because clearly Clinker has a bad history, and if he was discovered, then it would have gone south. I don't know what I had to do. So I hid.
Not everybody comes from a ghetto.
And
Oh,
not
so
everyone
was-
wants their fucking family dead.
So, my perception was, are they going to be violent? Just as a passing thought, because
Yeah, in a wasteland, not everyone's going to be friendly.
I want to point out that the major tribes are the closest thing to civilized groups in the wasteland. Why do you think that you're going to need to kill everyone? Like, come on.
I was assuming Clinker got
Like I
kicked out
said,
because he wanted to become a performer or something.
I
Wait,
think
what
we've
did you
only
say?
come across like 2 separate, like fully
Wait,
civilized groups
I couldn't actually hear what you said.
or partially civilized group.
My assumption with Clinker has always been like I don't want to be a clockmaker. I want to do drama. Or some equivalent.
That is
No,
hilariously
he just
accurate
wants
so
to be a
far.
clockmaker. He just doesn't want to be with the clock workers.
It's more complicated than that.
Given his age, it would be more proper to assume angsty teen than, we need to kill these people, Petra.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't want to be a clockworker.
Mhm.
Clinker just wants to do a play.
Nameless, if I assumed I had to kill them already, I would have taken a shot. I was being cautious and trying to figure them out first.
You were hiding in the bushes with your gun ready!
But
I
you
didn't have
see,
my
where
gun
you
ready.
messed up is
I was
that
hiding in
your,
the bushes with my gun. I didn't
your
have it ready
follow-up
and
plan
aimed.
was execution, not capture and questioning.
Why are you
Well,
so
shit went
dense?
south. I was ready.
Just no.
God.
Just no. Just no.
It's called being cautious. That's how we stay alive out here.
You know what? I want to apply stick to you anyway.
You realize this entire conversation has been out of character. So far, Vigil has
Yeah.
just stepped out of a bush and said hello there.
Yeah, no, I still want to apply stick. You're just lucky I can't do it in real life.
Moop can just feel it. That edgy Vigil vibe.
Vigil, where did you come?
Because, like, before Pete said,
I
it
just
tells her
imagine-
when Vigil is gonna shoot someone.
I just imagine Vigil stepped out of the bush and Moop already knows what he was doing, so that is why he is getting belted.
And it hits.
Hello there, bunk. Ow.
Can I try to block that?
You know what?
I'm
I'm
not
gonna be
trying-
mean. No.
I wasn't going to try to parry or anything. Just try to block.
No, you deserve this stick because you're being dense. You already had one person that was hiding. And I'm not understanding why the bug hasn't tried to transform at all. He's already seen a group of twins. Why would it be so bad to see another? I would also not
true.
like to point out that Nebula has not done anything to hide either. Torque doesn't count. He's kind of poo-brained at the moment.
We have a
I'm going-
following us through camp.
Into a tree and just being stuck with his horns in the tree.
Doc's gonna pitch a tent and start treating people. Anyone who wants it.
So,
After this,
I'm
I'm
going
going
to
to
look this up.
what's that?
So I'm going to look this up.
Okay. And what were you saying, Petrol?
I was saying, at this rate, I'm going to need healing from Doc.
You only took 2 damage.
I was already hurt before that.
Quit being a wuss. You're the one.
I was hurt before that.
G Petrol.
We're going to.
I was hurt
continue
before
now.
that.
Actually, looking at the time, would you guys like to take a water break?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
Since
this,
we're done with this problem.
It is nice to be at a place that's not racist against zebras anymore.
I want to point out that most of the places you guys have been are not racist towards zebras. It is,
There's Van
why are
Hoover.
you different?
And
Like, talking different kind of deal?
So not specifically racist, but generally xenophobic.
Yes.
Also, Vancouver would be less towards zebras and more just towards anything that's not a unicorn.
I'm mad about it.
Because they have a very, we are the descendants of the aristocracy kind of mentality, so they feel like they are high and mighty.
Yeah, blue blood still flows the same.
They're on their high horse in more ways than one.
That is
Anyways,
exactly
so
why I'm moving to blue blood.
We're taking water breaks, so I will disappear and then reappear.
Okay.
Right.
For those of you that are still watching, I just want to make a comment. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and if you would like to support us during like our streams and whatnot, you can check out the Patreon, which for $5 you will be able to join us at the post-game discussion, as well as $10 tiers getting a shout out at the end of every stream and video.
As a hydration fact, you hydrate better if you take smaller sips of water instead of just chugging it.
I am going to take this chance to also get a drink of water, so I will be right back.
But yeah, it wasn't just that I took 2 damage, I was already hurt before that. I still never fully healed.
You know, Doc has something in his bag that he picked up from some tech knights that may be able to help you. It's a rather small tube, maybe about 10 inches long, hollow. It is for like helping to drink liquids faster, although it might be able to help you suck it up.
I knew something like that was coming. It was too painfully obvious.
I have returned. See who is still not here.
I guess I was. But yeah, Nameless automatically just gonna open fire or anything ridiculous like that. It was we encountered new group. Uh-oh. Let's be careful here.
You can
Okay.
be careful without coming off as paranoid.
If we don't need to be careful, then, well, I won't be, which is why I then walked out casually.
You can
As-
still come
as if
off
I'm
as
hiding.
careful without being paranoid. Because you came off as paranoid. Like, I can almost justify, like, Nassau's reaction. Although I still think that she's still leaning too heavily in the idea of how zebras are treated in Fallout Equestria.
Admittedly, Nassau's a child, so it makes sense to err on the side of like caution and nervousness.
But this is less nervousness and just outright paranoia.
Just wants an excuse to shoot people. I know what I'm telling you.
No, it's Petrol who wants an excuse to shoot people.
It's not that I necessarily want to, it's that I'm always prepared to.
Sure.
You're overly prepared to. Thank you.
Everton. Hey. Did I miss anything?
Not really.
Wait, Ergo, would you say that Petrol is constantly waiting for an opportunity to shoot someone?
Yes.
See? So is everyone back now?
Maybe.
No.
Saying no.
Saying no to answer
There
a
is-
question about if people are around.
For some reason, my mic was starting to second.
I'm most
But
definitely not
Unless-
here.
Unless your mic is absolutely shitting itself.
Your mic is eating all of your words.
This is better.
No, it's worse.
Give me a second.
I'm just gonna say, Cameo, I don't know exactly what you're trying to like figure out information wise, so I can't really help you.
Unless it's a little better.
It's like you can ask them whatever you want. However, it doesn't necessarily mean they'll have the information. And it depends on who you're asking as well. Some of them may have different information from others.
What the heck, man?
Just with désolé, I have returned.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and keep going. For Nasa, you were introduced to a female pony. I believe. Is she a Pegasus as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you were introduced to Flywheel's sister, Brass Case. Angsty teenager. That is how to describe.
Oh boy. How old is this character?
Older than you
By how much?
by about that much.
Is this character still a filly?
She doesn't look like it.
Okay, so hello.
She grunts as she's like. She appears to be attempting to paint something ineffectively. She's got some small round rock and a brush in her teeth. You know.
Hello there, I say.
She gives you a dirty look and wiggles the brush.
My apologies. Did I interrupt doing something? Your brother just brought me in to introduce to you.
Flywheel leans over and whispers, "She's just that way. It's okay." Before dragging you off again.
Okay. I'm being dragged off, I guess.
Okay.
So, for the rest of the party, what are you doing?
Questioning way too many people about way too much stuff because a lot of thoughts are flying through my head.
Well, if you want answers to those questions, I need to know what questions they are. While you think of that, we are going to see if anybody else has also questions.
I'm just going to treat people at my tent in exchange for whatever they want to trade for whatever treatment they want.
I go off into my little area and make myself a stone tent.
You, Paige, are given a wide berth, but nobody seems to be actively, like, trying to be rude or anything. They just don't want you to be near you.
I'm going to go follow the sun. As a
I think
little zebra.
Nasa
Yes.
is being dragged by her new friend.
Yes. And if anyone asks, the one that is trying to look similar to me, we'll just say that she's my sister. Because to be fair, she is my sister.
So, do you want me to go by your business?
Hello?
Or a different? Okay.
I did not hear on whether or not they are going by.
They're going by Synax. I don't know if they have any problems with that, besides they don't even know what I am. So.
I think in my little stone hut, I practice making jewelry. This time I'm making a bracelet.
So, for Doc, you get a whole bunch of like random like gears and things and bits and pieces of stuff for like minor injuries. You do have one guy that shows up to you, just had a cold for the past month, or at least that's what he says, and he gives you a week's worth of rations to be healed. I'm not going to require any rolls because, you know, you're not saving the party's life this time around.
Yeah, it's kind of routine stuff.
Vigil, what are you doing?
Good question.
The clockworkers appear to just be going around doing daily life things.
Do they eat
I guess
meat
because
at all? Or are they only
guess it-
vegetarian?
there's nothing all that important to do. I'm just going to practice some flying.
So I'm just going to go down this in order for what you have for me so far, Moop. Their answer is forever. They say they try to, but it's normally not terribly worth it. Golden tier. Or gold. Is it golden tier or gold? I think
Gold
it's just
tier.
gold tier.
It's just gold tier.
Yeah, I thought so. No to the gems, or at least none that they are willing to part with. They use them for like lenses. They grind them down and use them for lenses.
There's actual use to gemstones
They don't
outside of
really,
just some gems.
They don't really use books. They say that they do quite a bit of making of things, but a lot of the things that they make take upwards of several months, if not years, to make, and the majority of the time is spent maintaining what they have. It depends on whether or not they are Pegasus. They really don't use machines that really need too much driving. That's more the mechanists thing. They eat whatever they can get their hands or hooves on. In this case, most of them don't really have a favorite food opinion, and they won't answer any question about traditions.
And those are quite a few questions.
And I have more.
Oh, great.
Tear. Tear.
Yeah, that was.
Okay. So, while you're doing more typing, Nasa, you get dragged in front of an extremely old-looking Pegasus.
Hello?
She, hold on, let me check something. Okay. But, she looks up at you and smiles and says, "Hello, child." Because, you know, you're both about the same size. So,
Yes.
obvious children. are obvious.
What are you
Yes.
talking about? We don't have children in the party.
Haha. So yes. I don't know what to say.
Um, your new friend excitedly introduces you to Gold Tier, who smiles politely and says, "Nice to meet you, Nasa."
You says your name is Gold Tier?
She nods.
Is it like the crying tier?
She nods again.
Okay.
And before you can ask any more questions, you are whisked off again by your companion, who appears to have more energy than you.
But
I don't know what's going on. I'm just being dragged to place.
Apparently, you're getting the high speed tour of the
Clockwork camp?
yeah.
Really ask someone around here if they know Planish in terms of like writing. Probably need to work on getting better at that.
So, waiting for an answer to a question real quick. So,
No,
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
You first.
I was about to say, Asai, you say you need someone to teach you Ponish, but Doc literally handed off a whole book that he wrote himself to move.
So, Nasa, you get dragged through the camp again because apparently he decided to go from one side of the camp to the other with each person that he dragged you to visit. And he drags you into a tent and yells out for his mother and father as he excitedly tells them he has a new friend. And a short pair of ponies, one male earth pony and one female pegasus, step into view from further in divides in the tent, and they kind of smile and wave, say hello. You get enough time to acknowledge you were acknowledged before you get yoinked away again to be shown a tent full of half-built contraptions that he explains in a breathless, high-speed tirade that this is the tent where they get taught how to be clockmakers before you get yoinked again. Where is Clinker?
Since Doc gave me the mask, I'm hanging out at Doc's tent, just trying to not draw too much attention to myself and look like I'm observing what Doc is doing.
Oh, if that's the case, Doc is definitely putting you to work. You about to learn some first aid today.
Yeah, sounds about right.
great.
Okay. Give Cameo a couple more minutes to type her questions. For everybody else, what do?
As I said before, I'm practicing my bracelet making.
Okay.
I'm still practicing flying.
I'm kind of being dragged around. I don't know if I have agency here.
You probably don't.
Not
You
when
had at the beginning of the day, but you gave it up as soon as you met that pony.
Gave it up.
Yep.
More like had it taken.
And then absolutely just follow you behind.
Okay, we're going to do this in order again. Answer is no. Only whenever they're on territory borders or they're meeting other smaller tribes within their territory Not really. Let's see. It depends on the size of the psycho tribe. They collect things to build more of their machines. They have no idea what you're talking about. They don't really care either way. They're not really concerned with map making. They do sketches for building more complex machines. Doc shows up fairly often to heal people. They don't mind him. He is a bit eccentric, and it's kind of at random. And I am assuming that passes from what you wrote there. Does that mean that he will be able to take a level of first aid?
That's up to you. Teaching just speeds up how fast someone accumulates like hours of learning for skill points. But GURPS is also a toolbox, so it's however you want to use the tools.
I'm gonna say we'll go ahead and let him take it at its very base for whatever, like just adding it in, and he can only add points to it if you teach him more.
Would that be under basic set
Yeah, the
skills?
basic set skill.
Yep. So, while you guys are being either frantically dragged around doing practice of things or, avoiding social interaction, the dinner bell is rung because this is one of the few tribes that actually does, group meals.
Communal dinners.
Yes.
To make good food.
Wait.
Ah,
Okay, so the skill comes in at just IQ plus 0, but for me that's a 13.
Yes,
Do you
that
want
is
it to
what
be that?
that is what it's going to stay at until you get taught more.
I was just wondering if you want it to be any lower than that, but okay.
You would have to alter both the skill, either the skill or your intelligence for that to happen. And
Yeah.
The reason why it's high to begin with is because you're a clever pun.
You're naturally smart. You can
So-
put things together just from brain power.
the
It's just so much more useful in GURPS than it is in D&D.
several of Doc's patients insist on Doc and his protege coming with them for dinner.
I move towards the dinner in hopes that they're doing vegetarian-friendly food.
Doc goes as well.
So, Vigil, you are also shooed towards the food because, that's the way that they do it. So everybody has been clustered into the eating area.
Food hall.
And there's lots of jostling and excited chatter because they have new people to talk to at the meal.
Almost as if new pawns is a novel concept for them.
They don't really get many visitors. Like they get the occasional other tribes that they meet, but they don't hang out. Like you don't exactly just share food with people.
Yeah.
But you guys get seated, and Clinker, You, sitting directly next to you, with Nasa next to him, is your brother.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
You mean Nisa and Nisa too?
Yes.
Yes.
I look over at Sai, being an exact replica of Nasa, and just kind of shake my head.
Your
I
brother
just winked.
currently enthusiastically shoveling food.
Yep, I'm going to try to eat while lifting the mask as little as I can.
I don't know if I met that one yet. I say. At the one that is very clearly Clinker's brother,
Oh no.
or sibling.
So, while enthusiastically shoveling and looking around at the new strangers, somebody crit their perception check, and Clinker has now been outed.
Oh,
As Flywheel excitedly yells Clinker's name and tackles.
Like,
There is a group silence as everybody like pauses, and you've had the mask removed, and your brother is like bombarding you with questions before the collective silence breaks, and like your parents rush in, and like everybody seems very enthusiastic as like gold tier actually walks up as your parents are and siblings are basically smothering you with affection at the moment. Both of your parents are in tears, and they are also bombarding you with more questions than you can answer.
So this is your family.
There,
Just
This is my family. I point to Synax and Moop. I have more, but I'm looking for them.
for everybody else that is not Clinker, who is currently buried under an avalanche of family, roll a perception.
yes.
Yes.
I perceive.
Is that a crit perceive for you?
No.
Or no?
no.
Just short.
It is one short.
So,
Ah.
looking around, the majority of the ponies gathered, there are still some that are seated. Others seem happy and excited to see. The ones that are still seated just seem kind of like, oh, he's alive, but I have soup.
What kind of soup is it?
It seems to be some sort of vegetable soup. They
Is
also have a meat stew and
How good are they?
several of the pastries that Flywheel had been hiding.
How good are they?
They're actually pretty
Is
decent.
anything pure vegetarian, or am I just having a 95% chance of projectile vomit?
Well, considering you can't tell very easily which one is which, flip a coin.
Okay.
One is vegetable, two is meat. Oh, good job.
Okay.
Oh, well.
I projectile vomit.
So, slashing is in a corner, projectile vomiting.
Food was good, but meat.
So,
Yeah.
I guess a finisher bowl.
currently, Clinker is just absolutely being smothered by the family, who have been
Yes.
very worried because, why does that say tech level 8?
I was wondering the same thing.
Really?
No idea.
Wait.
I'm sorry, wait,
What?
what tech level is tech level 8?
That would be modern.
Yeah.
We're basically in the beginning of tech level 8, like at our current level of technology.
That should
So
be
you would
like 4
understand
or
medical.
5.
Yeah.
But what is Clinker's reaction to sudden overwhelming emotion?
I'm kind of just stunned right now. Like, I have no idea how to respond to this. And am visibly terrified.
I'm starting to ask about the food. This seems like a good recipe.
And
These carrots aren't sad.
especially a fat earth pony walks past carrying a overly large ladle and rolling a cart with a pot on it.
Yeah, I woke up. Hey, how do you make that food?
He looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and says, "Well, if you want to know, I can show you."
Please, I need more recipes to learn.
And this Nassau is busy for the rest of the night.
Yes.
He
Learning
makes
more
good
recipes.
food.
I attempt to introduce myself to Clinker's family. Still green. My face still green from the accidental meat consumption.
So for the most part, right now, they're like even the angsty teenage sister is showing emotion. She's actually 20, but acting like angsty teen. You know, the I just turned 20, but I'm definitely adult. You know the types.
Hmm.
Oh, is
We
that
all know the type.
So
Clinker hasn't told us much about y'all.
they essentially tell us the story of Clinker. Clinker kind of got, for a while, he was getting bullied because, you know, smart prodigy child who didn't realize smart prodigy child and kept fixing people's problems for them. But, you know, smart prodigy child also didn't realize people didn't want their problems fixed in such a way because overly snooty in a
Yeah, sounds about like
approach
him.
without even like it was never something that he meant in ill will, but he ended up getting ostracized because of it. And then one day he just disappeared because his family was aware of it but wasn't sure how to help, considering that, you know, they also had 2 other children and it was just a lot that they weren't prepared for. And so
Yeah.
when he disappeared and the brother fills in that he knew the whole time and gets belted over the head for not telling, but they sent Torque to make sure because they felt that just dragging him back would make him hate them, so they sent Torque to protect him. You know,
Is the Minotaur who's currently zonked out?
Yes.
they both look at the Minotaur who is drooling in a corner and say he was a bit more responsive when we first hired him.
Yeah, he was pretty responsive when we first met him.
Then the radiation hit.
I think he was zonked out before we went to the radiant zone.
But
I mean, yeah, but it got really bad. At least before the radiation zone, he showed some signs. After that, it was definitely out.
they they all look at Clinker and start asking questions about what happened when he left and why he left and what made him come back. And
Do you want me to start answering those in order?
sure.
Well, I I felt like if I stayed here, nothing was going in a good way. It felt like everyone that I tried to help just resented me more for it, and everything I tried to do made everyone dislike me more, and I just didn't feel like I was going to be able to get anywhere here. And
Gives
so I
Clinker a hug.
decided I would probably be able to do better somewhere else, and thought that everyone would be happier without me around.
Both of the parents look at each other, and finally the dad speaks up and says that no matter what happened, that they didn't ever want him to leave them. Like, and he points out that they're family. It's like you're supposed to be able to turn to them. But he also notes that he understands where you're coming from in this view, because at some point he also went through that, and he basically tells a bit of a story where he initially left the tribe as well to do wandering, and it took him a while, but he eventually started to learn about himself and acknowledges that Clinker is capable of making his own choices now. So he tells Clinker that as much as they would like him to stay, they also want him to be able to be happy, and he wants you to find yourself, so that maybe that way whenever you return, because there's the general expectation implied that you are going to come back eventually, but he tells you that if you aren't ready to stay, then he would rather you travel with your new friends than stay and be unhappy.
And we'll do our best to protect your son.
He nods in appreciation before the mom hugs Clinker, saying that they're worried, but they would much rather see him succeed than to see him fall on his face, because they didn't let him find who he was.
How much of the travels do you want to talk about, considering we've done a lot since he joined the party?
At this point, Goldtier speaks up and says, you could just tell us the story from the beginning.
You wouldn't believe us if we told you the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
She shrugs and says, I mean, whether we believe you or not doesn't change whether or not it's a good story.
The good chunk of this party is pre-war.
There's just murmuring through the crowd, and the majority of the people that had been clustered around Clinker all shuffle back to their seat and stare at you guys expectantly.
I guess it's story time.
Yep.
So is the party going to take turns regaling the clockworkers with their exploits?
Yeah, I
Might as
would
well.
believe so.
Oh, sure.
So, you guys are well into the night, imparting the various portions of your story to them. I'm sure there's plenty of theatrics and dramatizations of the.
Dramatizations.
There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
We
The
managed to
events.
using our combined powers, we broke a hole through the barrier
Yeah,
using uh, pulls out broken device.
makes sad broken device noises.
Pew, pew, pew.
But for the most part, everything seems to. At the end of the story, those that haven't eaten themselves into a food coma have started moving off to their tents, and Clinker's parents invite the party to join them in theirs.
Nah, I sleep underground. I'm good.
Am I still cooking at this time?
No, by this time you joined about halfway through the story to help with the regaling of the story.
We met a princess in Canterlot.
Goldtier does approach you guys afterwards and comment that yes, it is a highly unbelievable story, but it was an entertaining one nonetheless.
Well, everything passed where they met me. I can tell you it all happened. I don't know how any of it happened. I don't know why any of it's true. But it happened.
Be surprised what the world can hold. So much to explore.
I do want to note that we didn't. I at least I try not to say what happened to Manhattan.
I think that we don't need to mention that part just yet.
It's too fresh.
They'll
Yeah,
learn that Manhattan
quite a
shut
bit
up and
that
walked
I
away
got-
one of these days, but it doesn't need to be from us.
yeah.
But
There's quite a bit that I didn't share either. I mean, they don't have to know everything.
I mean, there are quite a few things that they probably don't know about me yet.
but
To be fair, I don't know the party knows.
with Goldtier, she chuckles and pats Clinker on the head and says, "You found an interesting group."
You're telling me.
She smiles and says that the clockworkers are always ready whenever he decides that he's done with the adventuring life there before she heads off to her tent. So what do the party do?
I mean, I think we're staying the night.
Yeah, I take up the staying the night.
They're a nice group.
You gonna stay with Clinker's family?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be closer to the edge of the place rather than directly close to them.
Say I'm a medical tent.
Okay.
I will sneak out at some point, and I'll let you know what I'm doing.
Okay. And Clinker?
Well, I'm gonna be staying with my family, I guess.
Okay.
If Clinker's willing to share his tools, I pilfer some of them to work on my bracelet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Vigil, what about you?
I'm pretty sure Petra left a while ago.
Did he?
Yeah, he mentioned it in text.
So he drools.
Yeah, I'm just gonna during the night. I'll just do a jeweler's check. And I managed to make my bracelet.
And since it probably wouldn't look too bad, I'm gonna be bumping myself still.
Okay.
At the edge of the town, I bury myself under. This time, I lay the cape over the top of my little mound.
Let's see. Okay. Roll a spirit lore, Nissa.
Alright.
At a +2.
Pass.
Okay. As far as you can tell, everything went exactly as you wanted.
Alright, good to know.
Now, it is morning time. Does the party set out again?
Yeah.
Sure.
That was the plan, so
I believe so. Yeah.
There is much hugging and teary goodbyes as you are heading out with the party, Clinker.
again, we'll make sure. Well, we'll try our best to make sure he doesn't.
Bite the dust.
Yeah.
Okay.
As the second doctor here, I will definitely make sure of that. I say very tiredly.
Smoke.
As a person who taught her, I will definitely make sure she makes sure of that.
So, travel rolls.
Wait.
Yes.
I pass.
I should probably did it.
I do.
Pass.
I'm gonna do my health roll for the night because we
Oh
didn't
yeah,
do
shit,
health
I need
rolls
to do
and
that.
I
stuff.
should do it too.
Wait, I should do health.
Okay, well that's a pass.
No.
Oh, I think is it? I think there's.
Are we able to get a physician roll from either Doc or Mope?
And do they stack?
I don't know, Moon. Is that a thing?
I mean, you can roll to assist someone where your margin of success is their bonus. See, Moop's got this.
So, you guys travel a good distance, fairly uneventful. You see the occasional, spell spawn creature running around. For the most part, though, they seem to be avoiding. It's fairly quiet, all things considered.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
However, you guys do arrive at the edge of a forest. A really shitty looking forest. Most of the trees are dead, but it's a forest.
Might I know something about this by roll area knowledge?
Yeah, for the most part, this place, considering this is part of your tribe's territory, this place is fairly benign.
It's just a shitty forest.
Yep.
At least it's not the Everfree.
The Everfree reaches more up north.
It still doesn't change the fact that at least it's not the Everfree.
Yeah.
You should name the forest. Even if it's a poopy forest, it should have a name.
I don't know. Nameless, is there a name for this forest?
As of right now, no. Nobody really cares enough.
Yeah, no one
It's
cares.
Foresty the Forest.
It's the stupid forest. It's no cares.
No, its name is Foresty.
So,
Okay, all in favor of Foresty the Forest, raise your hoof.
I raise my hoof.
My
And
spirit, my glare intensifies.
And all in favor of the stupid forest, raise your hoof.
Dog raises hope.
Okay, Foresty the Forest it is. Now can we please move on?
Yeah, we can
No
start
fuck.
moving.
So you guys get a good ways into the forest, and now it is night.
The foresty forest.
So
No,
start with
foresty, the forest.
Is Nasa attempting to do a camouflage?
Yes, that would be a good idea. And
No
I
flag.
have passed. No flag.
So who's first watch?
I will be on first watch.
I will do the same.
Is anyone joining me on first watch, or?
Ellis just said he was.
Ellis is.
Alright.
His mic
His
is
mic
just going to
isn't
crap.
working very well.
Yeah.
Pass.
Okay. So, for the most part, it seems quiet. The Tantabus is in its usual.
And Nameless. I'm going to sneak off to do thing again.
Okay. You know what to roll.
Yep. Yes.
Apparently, Moop dies. What?
Moop does not die.
Well, look at the chat.
Okay. Everything seems to go as planned. Next watch.
I'll take next watch.
I'll take it too. Let's pass.
I see you're uncomfortable with your family. They seemed nice.
It wasn't. My family was never the issue. It was everyone else who pushed me out. Made me feel like I wasn't wanted there.
Mm.
Made me feel like less than worthless. Like I was a burden on the whole tribe. And in the past, I had, you know, I was quite talented with clockworking, and I just slowly stopped doing things.
Mm.
And I knew that I needed to find a way forwards, and that way forwards sure as hell wasn't there.
Mm. You make me think of my brother.
Why is that?
He was similar way, but with medical practices.
I assume his were more of the magical variety than Doc's.
Actually, he practiced both.
Oh, interesting.
It was actually common for most medical unicorns to know both back in my day.
Well, here, there is something I want to show you. I pull out the pocket watch,
Hmm.
and to describe it, it is it's not terribly big, like it's smaller than my hoof, but not significantly. But then again, I have small hooves.
Mm-hmm.
And it is in the shape of a turtle.
Hmm.
Um, it looks like the head, tail, and legs have mechanical components that used to make them move, but they're not doing anything and seem to show no signs of movement at all. The carapace of the shell is engraved with several small markings that go about 2/3 of the way around the outer ring of, would they be shell or scales?
You just call up scales. It makes sense. We understand what it. I
Yeah.
don't know the actual term for it.
I could look it up, but I can't be bothered right now. And so and if I open it up, you can see that the the inside of the top lid is very plain. Like it's effectively there's a large circular area that's just blank, and the watch is not ticking.
Is it
Um,
missing parts?
no, it's broken. Uh, has been for quite a while now, actually. With all of the events of what's happened to us and some very delicate components.
Uh,
It
if you need any replacement parts, I can provide the metal needed for it.
there's no way I could actually craft parts small enough. It would take me weeks, if not months, and only with the machines that are only back at camp with the clockworkers.
Mm.
And the mechanism is one I designed myself. It was everyone was kind of shocked when it worked. Um, and I point to the engravings now. These um these engravings are part of why this watch used to mean so much to me. Um, each engraving showed some kind of important part of my life.
Oh.
From I point at the first one from the day that I got my cutie mark from building this very watch. Well, not as it is now. Uh, it was much simpler back then. It's been modified over the years. But that was the first thing that I engraved on it. I now point to the last one. This was the day that I officially became an apprentice clockworker. And the day that my life started to turn into a living nightmare. That was several years ago now, and as you can see, there hasn't been another engraving since. Just nothing ever felt like it meant anything after that.
Give you a hug. Nope. We can figure something out eventually. You're a smart kid. Well, you
Thanks.
made a vehicle to carry our stuff so that we don't have to break our backs carrying everything.
I mean, yeah, but I just kind of blush.
Again, you remind me of my brother.
I hug slashing back.
At least I know he's out there.
Yeah, we'll find him.
I hope so. We probably should get everyone else ready for next watch.
Okay. I will note that Clinker, as you head to lay down for the night, you do notice Nebula staring at you. She smiles warmly, but doesn't say anything.
Okay.
So who's next watch?
I will have to be.
I'll go next watch.
When I shake you, I specifically shake Moop awake.
Then you notice I was already awake.
And while you do that, you notice that I'm barely holding back tears.
Are you okay?
I had to talk with Clinker.
Oof, what happened? Come on, tell me. I will
Thinking
poke
about
you.
my brother.
Ah, well, family always brings a tear to one's eye. It'll be alright.
Pat you on the head before heading to my little stone hut.
I sigh before looking away. Alright. Hopefully this night won't be a mess. Wow, that still passes.
Okay. So nothing eventful through the night. The Tantabus is still sitting with y'all, like outside the light of the fire.
Her normal spot.
Yep. Okay.
Still can't fly for jack shit.
Don't worry.
Everybody roll their
My
health.
first con.
What'd you say?
I said everybody roll health.
Failed my health check.
Oh, damn. I failed by one.
Moon, do you even need to roll health?
No,
Then
I
why
just didn't want to feel left out.
Okay. You do you.
Can you pass the fish? Okay.
I mean, Nameless, tell me that's not a moon thing to do.
It is a moon thing to do. That's why I didn't question it. I just
My
wanted
luck
to.
would have been critically failing. I'm going from perfect health to like 1.
It's moon. Don't question it.
I'm slowly recovering.
I am now below check 1.
Okay.
Same.
So travel
I-
rolls.
Yes.
I'm not really.
We do the walk.
I do the perceive.
And we manage not to walk
Pass.
into walls. At least to our knowledge.
I
Pass.
don't.
Well, if you managed to walk into a wall without realizing you had walked into a wall, did you actually walk into a wall?
Well, the wall could have been invisible. We've had that happen before.
No, I
They
mean, once
flew
you
into
walk
it.
into the wall, you would know that you've walked into a wall. Otherwise, you haven't walked into a wall. Because if it doesn't stop you, it's not a wall.
It's damn invisible.
Actually, never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Always
Not
preventing
all
us from
walls
going
stop
place to
forward
do it again.
motion.
Perceive.
We do the
They've
perceive.
happened. So you guys travel a bit farther through the woods. You see the ruins of a city farther off in the distance. And the direction you guys are headed, you're going to be crossing a river.
Yeah.
I don't
Do you?
have names of places on this map, so I cannot tell you exactly where this is.
This is River. Got it.
I was talking more about the city ruins.
Yeah.
I was debating whether or not asking you if I would know the name of the city, but that answers that question.
Yeah, there are like cities just kind of sprinkled around here in the map that is used on our World Anvil thing that me and Moon had made a while back that I used for the map. Doesn't have the city names on it. It just has a couple of the in-game landmarks marked. But
Oh yes, the city of town.
it's next to a horseshoe-shaped bay.
So Horseshoe Bay,
Wait.
Bay City.
It's almost
Are you not sure that's
directly.
not Pittsburgh?
It's almost direct line from it straight across to Griffinstone.
Hang on, let me look at the map. Once it loads. Where is Griffinstone?
It's like a
Oh, Horseshoe Bay. Okay, so we're
Tamir?
so it's probably Baltimore.
yeah. There we go.
Ah,
Area-wise, the equestrians would know about roughly where they are.
I don't.
But I would also like the equestrians from post-war to roll an area knowledge.
so me and Doc.
Yes.
I don't know anything about this place.
Alright, well that's a pass by, I think, 7.
Yes, but you and Doc have different information.
Nope, I do not
What
know.
information does Doc have?
Doc, did you just crit fail?
Possibly. Yes.
See. Yes, you did just crit fail. So
Well, this'll
anything
be
Clinker says, you will need to actively attempt to persuade otherwise.
Well, this will be
And
interesting.
whoever does the better job of convincing is who the party has to go with. So for Clinker, you know that the area that you're gonna have to travel through up ahead is kind of a hellhole.
In what way?
Swamps and shitty rainforest and giant insects and all kinds of other things that most people avoid.
We have
A lot
to
of
go through
spell spawn
that
critters.
area. Oh, this isn't gonna be fun.
What are you talking about? It's like the perfect way to go.
What do you mean? It's like swamps and rainforests the whole way. It is ground that is not fun to travel through.
I came through here just a few weeks ago. It was just gentle hills, rolling valleys, nice few
Doc?
stretches. I mean,
Doc, how many?
downside is you
how
don't
many
really have the
random-
woodland to cover you. But
Doc, how many random pills from your bag have you taken?
hills aren't the point here.
Because that is what is coming up ahead that we have to travel through is definitely a whole lot of swamps and a whole lot of jungles with a whole lot of big bugs and a whole lot of spell spawn and
Not
a
to
whole
mention
lot
the
of
ancient temples.
and just a whole lot of not fun stuff.
I'm sorry, when was the last time you were here?
So
I mean,
Clinker, for you, you've never actually been through that area because your tribe avoids it. They
I
don't
mean-
cross the river.
we don't go through there for damn good reason because we know what's on the other side.
So what I'm hearing is you've never been through there.
Not personally, but are you saying are you telling me that you are not under the influence of anything in your bag?
Not currently.
I find that hard to believe.
Wait, hold on. Doc checks his pocket. Okay, I took one pill.
So, is anyone going to trust the one whose tribe explicitly avoids an area because my tribe knows explicitly that
Actually,
that area
they
is
avoid
no
it because
travel
it's
through?
not part of their territory.
Hmm.
Their territory is bordered by the river and the mountains in the map.
Okay.
So there's no explicit reason other than not our territory, not worth our trouble. Because
We don't own it.
other things there.
So, are you going to trust the one who's probably currently high off of some unknown substance, or the one who has their wits about them?
I've been
Oh,
high
Doc
before.
hasn't ever led us astray.
Oh, really?
It is true.
I've been high before. I did just fine.
I would like to have you know that I've cut down quite a bit. I went from 13 a day to only 12.
It is early morning, so he has only had time for one.
Yeah, but he could still be on the residual high from last night.
Yeah, I'm not gonna trust the one who's high in this instance. I'm telling you guys, we need to be ready for trekking through some pretty bad terrain.
Obviously, you need a piece of candy to calm you down.
Wait, what kind of candy is it?
Oh, you want one?
I would say don't.
It depends. What kind of candy is it?
Let's see.
Don't
Really,
eat
the question
the candy
kind of
in
drug
the
is
bag.
wasted.
I
I'm
have some
sorry.
mood,
But
I
have your
have some
parents
mood
ever?
stabilizers, some muscle relaxers, and a caramel.
Caramel.
What's in the? What does the caramel do?
It's a caramel.
It tastes delicious.
Do you know what caramel is?
Do
I'm sorry.
zebras
what
not
does
have
the
caramel?
do?
This
The
is not. This is not something that I ever would have heard of before.
I
Is
know,
it
but
candy?
the question.
I think I have
Hey.
some mints in my bag if you want one of those instead.
What? I want to taste the caramel.
She
Oh.
almost sounds injured that you suggested something else. Do you give Nasa the caramel?
I give Nissa the caramel.
I was always told not to change, not to take candy from strangers, but we know the strangers, so this is fine.
Yeah.
If you know the
Like,
stranger, then they
make
know
you
the
not a
stranger.
stranger.
I mean, I'd like to point out that if you compare me to anyone, I'm a stranger.
God damn
No.
it, Moon. That logic.
You are stranger. You are not a stranger.
You are just the strangest in this group.
I think I'm fairly strange.
Without level of familiarity.
So,
Ugh.
We
Nasa,
just have a strange penny in the party.
the caramel, it is very sweet and tastes good.
This tastes amazing.
I would just be careful with eating more than one.
Okay.
So, are we going to prepare ourselves for the bad terrain that we're coming up on? Or are we going to listen to the delusional one who thinks that it's going to be smooth sailing?
I like the one that gave me candy.
I like that one too.
Do you know how caramel
Did
is
you
made?
just lose the argument because candy?
Yes.
It would appear that way.
Oh, I
You
believe.
gave
Oh.
candy to the children. And, oh my god.
You're staring at Nasa. Do you know what caramel is?
Is it a drug? Is it something else? Candy? I was told it was candy.
Well, caramel is supposed to be a form of melted sugar.
I mean,
How do you
Supposed
know?
to be.
that is exactly what Doc handed Nasa, by the way.
Okay.
It was not surprise drug. It was actual caramel. Or
Yeah.
caramel, or however people want to say it.
But my character words it that way because knowing Doc.
I also have a tin of mints. The downside, though, is I actually mix the muscle relaxers into it, so I don't know which ones are which.
Do you?
Are you kidding me?
Okay, so just don't accept breath mints from me. Got it.
Unless you want to be floppy all day. Yeah, no.
It wouldn't be all day. It would just be a few hours.
Knowing Doc that they're probably the strength of horse tranquilizers.
So it'd be, well,
Yeah.
Nameless, we are
Proportional
horses.
strength.
Right.
No. The ketamine's kept separately.
Of course.
Oh god.
Oh
And
my-
this is how Doc lost his medical license.
What are you talking about? He never had a medical license.
I'm the closest thing to a certifying authority that I know of right now.
Well, knowing that my brother's around, I think he's slightly closer, but that's just because he had his medical license revoked.
See, someone who had theirs revoked versus someone who wrote their own. Obviously, I'm a reputable.
I would take the one who had theirs revoked.
I
So,
don't know what it takes to get into medical school, so I don't know.
I don't know either.
So,
So does
all
anyone
in
believe
favor?
me in
All in
this?
favor of charging headfirst into the forest?
Aye.
I.
So that was 3?
Yep.
Okay.
It
So,
appears the party is split down the middle on this one.
Well, clean.
Yeah, but I'm not going to fight the party if
It's
that's what
it's
they
3 to
choose.
2 right now.
Yeah.
Wait,
Where did
Vigil's poo brain, Torque is poo brained, and Nebula just doesn't
Moop is
care.
actively flying?
there is me, Moop, and
No.
Paige.
Moop is not here. Moop is currently flying.
Ah, okay.
And I am also a lot of the time just abstain from travel
Decisions.
based decisions beyond like, oh, we want to go that way, so we should head that way.
Yes, very helpful, Paige.
Yes.
So,
I never claimed to be
time to go
navigator.
charging headfirst into the forest. But before we do that, do we want to go ahead and put a pin since it is already 9 o'clock?
Yeah,
Sure,
sounds like a
why
good
not?
idea.
I'm
Okay.
still sucking on this karma. Karma. Karama. What did you call this thing again?
It's a caramel.
Wow.
So,
Caramel? Caramel?
We do not need to have a debate on how to pronounce caramel.
No, this is my first time hearing this word. I apologize.
So, for those of you that may or may not still be watching, if you enjoyed this, then feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to keep up to date with all the uploads and all the streams that we do. We will be picking up tomorrow with the Peacemakers of Equestria. They will be continuing their journey through the city of Sultinibris.
95% chance we die.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna argue with that one. For those of you that enjoy our Wednesday uploads, we will be doing the Lost Memory bloopers next. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. And if you are enjoying like what the channel's doing, would like to help support us, then go ahead, take a look at the Patreon link in the description, and the $5 tiers will be joining us like immediately after all of the streams. We will be hopping in to do a group discussion of what would happen during the campaign. Players get to share their thoughts, and for those of you that want to also share thoughts on the campaigns, you will also be able to join. And $10 tier, I will read out the names at the end of it. And a big thanks to my $10 tiers, Paige, Ellis, Hacks, Sawtooth. Am I missing anybody? I feel like I'm missing someone.
No, but I really feel like you should start doing the same thing Sawtooth does to me. Oh, did you?
I'm not doing voice acting on the streams, thank you.
Why not? It is easy.
For you. Move on.
Hold on, I'm double checking to make sure I have everybody.
Yeah.
You know, they could make the mobile app just like easier to access.
Easier to use in general.
Yeah, I think that's everybody. So, other than that, everybody have a great evening and drink water.